Hey everybody, welcome to the finally a new installment of the 101 items we've sold on eBay. These are items that can be sold on eBay because we have recently sold them. I want to make something perfectly clear. These aren't items that we've just gone on eBay and looked, seen what's sold and took screenshots. These are actually items that we personally have sold. I think it's really important, and I've said this in another one of the videos, we're huge supporters of haul videos. We enjoy watching haul videos, and we've done haul videos, but what we've found to get, more of a bang for your buck is to, instead of showing it when we pick it up, because although it's really cool to see an item when you buy it and you share it, it really doesn't mean that much as far as, an educational value until it sells. Once it sells, then somebody can get an idea, okay, this particular item, I can keep an eye out because I know what it sells for. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter what we pay for an item. Once you see our price that we get for it, then you can make that educated decision whenever you come across an item like this, knowing what you can get out of it, and at that time you can decide whether or not you can pay $20 for something that that you recently see that it sells for $50, or if it's $2 or $3, then that's a good buy. So I think it's much more important to see something like this, a sales update. It lets you know what stuff's going for currently. We've taken a lot of time thinking about, how can we evolve and, bring better content. And I think this is one of the ways. I really, really do. Although haul videos are awesome. I enjoy watching haul videos and I get great ideas from haul videos. We've just chosen with our time to put videos like this out that shows what items are actually selling for that you might be able to keep an eye out for. So, and keep in mind, this is January 2016, and keep in mind, if you're watching this, January 2017, trends change, prices change, they can go up or they can go down. It's really important when you're watching a haul video or a sales update video. It's really important to look at the date it was put out, because there's a lot of them out there that are 2 or 3 years old. I know we have some that are a couple years old out there, and the prices changed, the trends changed, so they might not be as good as what they used to be, or they might be better than what they used to be. So keep that in mind when you're tuning in, you're doing your search on YouTube. When it comes to, if you're looking for items, like if you're trying to educate yourself on what would be good to sell. So with that in mind, let's get going. I'm going to show, I've got everything pulled up here on another screen. I'm going to be letting you guys know, because a lot of times the best offer is taken. I'm going to let you know what we accepted and what they paid for shipped. Okay, because we charge shipping on most of our items. So I'm going to be giving you the shipped price. And if I can remember without going through my records, if I remember off the top of my head what we paid for the item, I will tell you. But ultimately it doesn't really matter what somebody pays for an item. Like I said, what matters is what it's actually selling for. And when you have that in mind when you're going to buy something, it doesn't really matter what I paid for it. What matters is, can you buy that item knowing what it's currently selling at, and can you get that item at a profit? So if I recall it without going back, I'm not going to worry too much about what we paid for it. If you guys follow us, we don't pay much for stuff. We pick stuff up really cheap and flip it. We're quick flippers, so a lot of these prices that you're going to be seeing, keep in mind that if you're like long tail, you probably could get more money for it. In some cases, quite a bit more money for it. But it's just with our business plan and the way we do it, we turn stuff really fast. we do accept some lower offers, or we sell it at lower prices. That's how we remain competitive and stuff like that. It may not be for you, but this at least will give you an idea of what's selling currently and at what prices we have gotten for them. So let's get into it. Disclaimer, this may take a while. So if you make it to the end, right on. If you don't, it's okay. You can watch it in sections. This first item, really great item. I picked this up for, I believe, $3 at a thrift store. And, you know, you may have seen this in my a couple shows I've been on, or on one of my live shows. This is 1970 Sansui. We ended up selling it. We got $457.50 shipped on this. So I think this is one of the things to look for with the vintage electronics. If you're not familiar, I just put a video out recently about vintage electronics, kind of some of the things to look for. But what immediately caught my eye was the Sansui, and that's a very good brand when it comes to vintage electronics, and also the wooden case on this. A lot of times these wooden cases are considered upgrades on these high-end pieces of equipment. So automatically catches my eye. Great pickup. Here's another item I picked up. I paid $50 for this, and we ended up getting $294.25 shipped for it. It was at an animal rescue thrift shop. So it was sitting in there. It was new, brand new in the box, but it was missing the manual. Don't know why it was missing the manual, but I disclosed that, and it sold really fast. So you know, and it's very possible somebody could have gotten $450, you know, out of this item if they, you know, don't mind sitting on it for a long time. But just keep that in mind. This item sold for $264 shipped. It's actually like a wheelchair for your animals. It was 70. I believe I put in one of our videos I talked about this, and would you buy this at $100? I can't remember if it was $100 that we bought it at, maybe 50 to 100, but I can't remember for sure. So you'll have to go back and watch my videos. But yeah, I knew once I saw this, because the medical equipment for animals is really expensive. Like these wheelchair things are really expensive. So always something to keep an eye out for. Always something. Anything that has to do with, you know, with humans, you know, you see the motorized wheelchairs and stuff like that. Well, this is for your pets, and they are high dollar stuff. This was that old Gimme animated buck. I ended up selling this for $190 shipped. And it wasn't working properly. It had issues. It was slowing down, and it was... So imagine what this would be in like great working condition. I had it working great for a very short time. But it just kind of died on me. So I'm like, before I keep playing with it, I'm going to hurry up and list it with issues, and I let them know what it was. And these things can sell up to $400. They're highly desired. If you're not sure what they are, go to YouTube and look up a Gimme animated talking buck, a singing deer, and you can see how it works, and you can see how really neat it is. The animatronics in them are really cool. There's a lot of Gimme items out there that are rare and hard to find, and this is one of them. There are some cheaper stuff out there, but it's all about looking it up and verifying, you know, that this brings some decent money. And I've got another item that I'll show you later. Same thing. I mean, it didn't bring near as much money, but it was just a really rare one. Guys, you know, some people might come across something like this in a thrift store or something and be like, ew, yuck, it's ugly or whatever. But this screams 80s, okay? If you have the bright colors like this, the pink, and, you know, it's men's or women's. I mean, believe it or not, if you're young and you didn't live through the 80s, men would wear this. I mean, they had the pink, the loud colors. we ended up taking $128 shipped on this. So I actually got full price on this. Great piece. If you can find anything like, you know, the loud colors like from the 80s and the 70s and, you know, some of the 90s even, it just really brings good money. I did a trade for this item. I had like a small mini lathe, and I traded for this and a couple other items. On this, I ended up getting full price of $149. It's a diver's watch, and what's one thing you have to remember about these watches is they're only good for a certain amount of dives. Okay, I think it's like maybe 200 dives or something, and it actually keeps track. So be careful when you're buying like a diver's watch, because even though you look and see, oh, these are going for really good money, I think this one had 12 or 14 dives on it. So, you know, it still had a lot of dives to go, and, you know, they're worth a lot of money. Divers, it's an expensive hobby, and anything that has to do with diving is expensive. So that's it. And so these are really cool things to get. Okay, this one was kind of a shot in the dark. I really didn't know anything about it. It was at a garage sale. It was $10. I knew nothing about this kind of stuff, but for $10 I was willing to take a chance. It had a nice tripod with it, and it was very heavy. So, you know, I took a chance on it, and I ended up getting $139.78 for this, shipped. The person was really happy with it. Luckily, I went to somebody really close, so I actually made money on shipping. And there really wasn't a comparable out there for this particular brand. The person that bought it was looking for something that wasn't, you know, imported from, I don't know, China or something. I'm not sure, but I held on to it for a little while, because it was quality, and it just looked good, and I didn't want to sell it for really any cheaper than what I did. Oh goodness, sorry about that. I'm really sorry about that. You know, Dusty knew I was going to go live, and going to go make this video, and Dusty, doing the Dusty thing, thought that he would call me. So, okay, on to the next item. You know, this was like $2 or $3, and I didn't know what it was. I did research on it, and I think it's one of those, I really don't think it actually works. I think it's just one of those things that it causes, you know, you use it as like a laser, and it's supposed to help your head or whatever. So it sold fairly quick, and I got $115 shipped. So that's correct. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a laser comb, whatever that is. But yeah, it sold pretty good. This was a big disappointment of mine. One of my not so good buys. It's an underwater kit. It's a Nikon set. I actually sold the lens for it separate for, I believe, $70 or $80. And finally, I ended up listing this. The battery compartments had some acid in them, and you know, so I really wasn't sure how it was supposed to work. So I listed it as 4 parts are not working. It's untested. I didn't put it together. I didn't want to put the time into something I didn't really feel comfortable about. So, and it has a close-up lens right there, which has some value to it. And of course, the body of the camera was in really good shape. But the flashlight and the actual flash for underwater, you know, it's a complete set. So somebody definitely got a good deal on this. I ended up getting $100.10 shipped for this. So pretty much I sold it for $80.10. That's a weird number. This is another kind of a disappointment for me. I ended up paying $50 for this Barbie. 45 or 50, one of the two. So many of these number fours sell for quite a bit more money. I had it listed for a higher amount, and I just was not. I was getting lower offers, and it just wasn't. Maybe if I let it sat and sat and sat and sat, but I had it for a few months, and I ended up selling this for $131.12 shipped. You know, even at $50, you know, I made a good profit, but I was just disappointed in what I expected from it. It is, as far as the quality, and it should bring that kind of money, but I think the people who pay that high dollar for stuff like this, and this is something you need to keep in mind. You know, you have your professional doll sellers out there who have reputations, and, you know, they sell these things on eBay and they get top dollar. You know, and you got somebody like me coming in that never sells dolls, and I do have one. Doll collectors can be very, very picky. So, you know, I think it's just a comfort thing with a lot of these buyers of dealing with an actual doll dealer. So I think that's where, and you need to consider that. It's where a lot of the higher dollar stuff comes from, is somebody that deals. And that's like Ronnie Hart and his clothes. They see that he sells a ton of high-end clothes, so they feel a little bit more comfortable buying these high-end clothes and paying these higher prices because they're confident in what they're going to get. So this was, I got it for $10 at a yard sale. It was all thrown in a box. Really wasn't sure what it was. I knew it was you know, like a a sea for your boat, depth finder, fish finder, something like that. But doing a quick check of the Ferragamo, it's a good quality brand. I ended up getting $128.25 for this shipped, so I took a little bit less than my asking price. You know, it had the transponder and everything with it. So, and you know, $10 into 100, it was a good deal. You know, during the Christmas time, these things really sold well. I think I sold 3 of these over the Christmas season. The ceramic and Atlantic mold is what you need to look for when it comes to like these ceramic Christmas trees. There's a lot of Christmas trees like this out there that are made, and you just have to be really careful, and you need to do your research when it comes to, you know, just because you see a ceramic Christmas tree. No, it's important that the name brand, like Atlantic mold, and you have to actually look to find. And several of these are like 3-tier, so there could be another piece. If you see, like right here is like a base piece. There could be another one, the exact same piece that sits on top, which would make the tree actually higher, and those actually bring more money. So I ended up getting $128 shipped for this. Yeah, it says best offer accepted. I think I had it priced higher, and now I think eBay is showing what you actually got for the item instead of what it was at. So yeah, that actually sold for $100, and it was $28 shipping. Yes. Okay, next item. Let me go over to this screen and scroll. This was a really cool watch I found. I found several of these old Seiko watches at a garage sale for $3 to $5 a piece. I think it was $5. And cleaned them up. Beautiful old 70s era. This did really, really well. Yeah, I got $85 shipped for this. So that isn't correct all the time. So I got $85 shipped. And this is the Seiko a digital, and you need to keep in mind that a lot of times you need to watch the model numbers, because you know, other Seikos may not be worth near this, and there's some Seikos that are worth a lot more than this. So it's all about the model number and condition, and it would be worth it. If you get one that's dead, it would pay off. Get batteries for it, put batteries in it. You're going to get a lot more money for it than if you sell it blank. And this is another one of those Seikos that I got at that garage sale. This is a automatic or kinetic, And this one, I got $87.50 out of it. Nice watch. It's older. It's got the metal band on it and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a 1960s watch. It's called a Sea Lion, if you're familiar with it. And this actually has the person's name engraved on it. It's a named watch. So maybe it was a like gift from a company or something like that. But it's still sold for some really good money. Another vintage electronic. Well, not so much vintage. Actually, this is a newer one. This is a 7.1. I don't think I had the remote for this, or is this one I sold the remote separately? But yeah, it has a little bit of age to it, but I got $120 shipped for this. What's really important are the model numbers on these. Anytime you get like a surround sound system or a receiver, make sure you check the model numbers. I think I got this with a ton of other electronics from this guy, and I mean, I think I ended up paying less than $5 a piece because I just bought a ton of the stuff. I had stacks of it, so, and I had to go through and test everything. But that's what it's about if you enjoy doing this stuff. I don't know if I showed this before, but this is an original from 1964, a wallet. And what's really rare about this is, you know, back in the day like that, the girls who would have this would use it. And if you see here, the comb, when you find these, the combs have teeth missing on them. This actually had the photo inserts. The zipper was perfect. This was just a beautiful piece, and I ended up getting $120 for this. Quick flip, really, really quick. Yeah, I probably could have gotten closer to $200 if I would have waited, but you know, that wasn't there was no need. This is the Littlest Pet Shop group set that I got. Actually, we didn't get it all together. What we do is we'll pick some stuff up here and there, and then wait till we get a lot of it, and then we'll list it. And most of the time when I get stuff like this, because like Littlest Pet Shop, it's okay to run an auction like on this because it generally brings current market value. But you know, some will say, well, it'll sell for a lot more if you best offer, and then I'll show you in a little bit some that I did. But yeah, I ended up getting $111 for this, and we didn't have but a couple bucks in this stuff. I mean, I think it was under $10 for everything. Here's another set that we had gotten, and we ended up getting $117.09 for this. And what's really good about this is we say this stuff is unsearched because we don't pull out the good ones and sell the good ones separately. Which it is what it is, and we'll just put them out there and they'll sell. Now this was kind of lazy on my part, but these are the old vintage Care Bears, the PVC. It's the really hard plastic, and they're posable. What happened was I had showed everybody in the groups of these that I got. I was kind of excited to find them because they're nice. And then somebody asked me, hey, I'm really interested in 3 of those. Would you be interested in selling them to me? So he gave me a very nice price for them. And instead of, you know, redoing it, I just blacked out the pictures and re-uploaded the pictures. So I ended up getting, let's see here, $76.49. So yeah, these are the older Care Bears. I think they're from the 80s maybe. Not totally sure. Okay, let's go down here. The good old Flobies. Yeah, I was lucky enough to pick up 2 of these. You may have heard me talking about these when I got them. I was really excited. I ended up getting $100 shipped for this. So, you know, anytime you come across Flobies, what it is if you aren't familiar, if you're not as old as I am and, you know, a lot of people my age,
You hook the one end up to your vacuum cleaner, and the other end it has like a different settings, and you can use it to cut your hair. So many of us growing up in the 70s and 80s, these original Flow Bees, that's how we got our hair cut, by our moms. So, but yeah, they've come out with new ones that are much better. So this was a really good pickup. I think I got those Flow Bees for $5 a piece, I believe. This is no Ibanez Troubadour. I know the Ibanez, Ibanez, is a good quality brand. You know, I hooked up the guitar and a microphone to this, and it functioned great. It worked really good, and the guy was really happy to get it. I ended up getting $100 shipped for this. It's an amp. Okay, yes, this is a really obsolete piece of equipment, but it's really kind of desired. It's a noise reduction. It's something that you would put within your system, and it would help with noise reduction and stuff like that. There's not a lot of them out there, but I ended up getting $99 for this, and it's just really cool. It worked perfect, but the red bulb up front was burnt out. And the way I tested that red bulb was just with the multimeter. You know, I took the thing, the case off and turned it on, and I touched it, and the bulb was actually dead. And I didn't want to go through, you know, changing the bulb. But it still sold, so it was a really good deal. DBX 2. This is a recent pickup I got. It was really priced cheap, under $10. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's like a DVD copier, so you can, you know, copy DVDs quickly. And I ended up getting $97.50 out of it. It's a nice standalone. You don't have to have a computer. You just put one DVD in, and then you put your blank one in, and, you know, hit copy, and it copies it. So they're pretty desired out there. This was only a couple, I think $3 at the Mission, and I printed the manual out for it, and it's used for the golf course. I ended up getting $95 shipped for this, and it sold really fast. It's a laser range finder. I guess it tells you how far the pin is away from where you're at. So really cool item. You know, I showed this the other night in Jason Smith's show. This was in this carrying case, and it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I went to this garage sale, and I think it was $2 or $3, and it ended up working perfectly. This thing was like it was just put away from years ago, and it fired right up, went through its boot sequence, and the guy was really happy to get it. I got $94.99 out of it. You know, when you come across old stuff like this, guys, so many people would think that this is just junk. It's like, I don't want to have to mess with that. But I'm telling you, do a couple. I think there was a couple of them on there, but they were for parts only, and that tells you something, that it's rare. It really is. It's either rare or it's absolutely worthless. So, but my experience told me it's not worthless. So, this is a head off of a Pioneer RT707 reel-to-reel player. It's another one of those things, is just because, you know, something may be broken or it looks like crap, some of the parts in it can be worth a lot of money. I ended up getting $93.89 for this head. That's what actually reads the tape. So if you're familiar, you know, with reel-to-reels, the head means everything. This is a coat that Kim picked up. and I think it was $7, I believe. We ended up getting $91.75 shipped for it. And, you know, it's just a really nice looking coat. Marvin Richards, never heard of him, and I don't think Kim knew who it was either. But she took the time, just did a real quick look, and the brand was doing well, and she found something kind of close to it, so she made that decision. Yeah, it was worth buying. So, yeah, it was a pretty quick sale. This was at a thrift shop, I believe, for $4.99, I believe. And I think Jennifer and her husband Craig were down visiting, and we were out thrifting, and I just happened to get there a little bit earlier and pick this up, and before they got there, so I ended up getting $91.50. This is an older joystick set, but you know, you find something brand new in the box like this. Now, used ones that are just, they really don't bring any money. I mean, it's not near what it is if it's new. So that can really dictate, you know, whether or not, just because you go to a thrift store and you see the X45, don't say, oh, I'm going to buy it because, you know, Chad sold one for $91. No, it needs to be brand new to get this kind of price. So that's real important to remember. We saw these boots for a long time in our Salvation Army. They were priced high, and then they brought the price down, and we waited, and they were still sitting there. They brought the price down some more, and then on half off day, we ended up picking them up, I think, for like $18. And we ended up selling these for $90. They have felt on the bottom, the soles. It's for like trout fishing, you know, like when you're on slippery rocks, like in the river or something like that. It's supposed to help you. So I guess it's a high quality boot. But yeah, it was a good buy. Picked these up brand new. I believe these were at a garage sale from an Air Force guy who was getting out, and he didn't want them anymore. And I think I ended up getting them for $6 or $7 for the pair, and we ended up getting $86.99 for them. You know, good quality. They're actually, it's what the Air Force uses a lot right now. These were really cool when I found them. I was really excited. They're literally the very first model of COS headphones. They're not practical to use today, but I think for a museum type piece or a display piece, it's a really, really cool. They worked great, but I ended up taking $48 shipped on these. They're just in really great shape for the age, and they're actually a patent pending. And if you do the research, you'll see that this is actually the first model of COS that was put out, and that's pretty neat in itself. Really cool. You know, when you get into, you know, the Monopoly games and you have your Trivial Pursuit games, the ones that are like customized for like, you know, like this one is the Denver Broncos. You know, how many just sealed normal Monopoly games can you get $81 shipped for? Which is what I ended up selling this for. It's actually worth quite a bit more than that. But I ended up, you know, accepting this. Be surprised how expensive, and this is brand new sealed still. It was a really good pickup. I don't remember what I paid for it. Probably $3.99 to $4.99, something like that. So excellent, excellent. Because that's typically what the board games are going for at our thrift stores. This was in a piece that I got with that little, like the mini lathe. There were some extra pieces that I didn't sell. I didn't make that trade with that guy because, you know, there was more money to be made, and this was extra stuff. So I sold this stuff separately, and it was a good. I really couldn't find a whole lot of information on it, so I just put what it was, and I ended up getting $63.99 for it. So apparently whoever bought it knows exactly what it is and what it does, because I did not know. So this is a Shure microphone that I found at a thrift store when Dusty was down here, and I paid up for it. I paid $20 for this, and I ended up selling it for $80 shipped, and it went in a priority regional A box. So it was a really good flip, good deal, and as you see, it has a lot of wear to it, but that doesn't really matter because it's still a high quality microphone. So always be looking for Shure. It's SHURE. The toy castles and stuff. And I actually put this together, and it was a pain in the neck because I used the instructions off the internet to do it. I was bored, so I decided to go ahead and put this thing together. I ended up getting $77.41 out of it. I believe it was a $3. It was in like a box just of all parts, and turn that into $77.41, and that's a Playmobil, which that's a good brand, but it's cheaper than Lego. It's probably along the lines of like the Mega Block type things. So yeah, good deal. This is another part from the Pioneer reel-to-reel 707. I ended up getting $30.65. Like I said, I mean, I've said this a million times. On a higher end electronics, if for some reason there's something wrong with it, it's worth parting it out. You're gonna make some really good money parting this stuff out. And this is the actual case for that. After I pulled all the parts of it, the frame was left, and the outer case, the outer casing was left, and I actually got $75 for that shipped. So it just goes to show again, if it's a good quality item, that is desired, then the parts will also be desired. Man, I caught all kinds of crap from people on the internet for this. People watching that would send me messages on my eBay. Those aren't worth that kind of money. I don't know why you're trying to sell those for that kind of money. Well, my wife knows this stuff, and this is actually a pair that is hard to find. Most of these that you find, the Paratrooper Pants, this actually had the zipper on it, and the tight, and the leather, the leather backings, and the buttons, and everything else. So we ended up selling these for $75 shipped, and they went pretty fast. But these are really rare. They're hard to find. Always keep your eye out on the Abercrombie and Fitch, the camo, or the camo cargo pants, or the camo cargo shorts. They've always done us really well. I mean, we've sold them for $100 to $120 to the $50 to $120 range. They're just highly desired, and most of the time they go overseas, believe it or not. Here's another Sony surround sound system. This is a 6.1. It ended up selling this for $74 shipped. And when you guys, it didn't even cost me $20 to ship this. So you have to keep that in mind. Just because something is larger or heavier, it doesn't mean it's going to cost you a fortune to ship. So if you're not familiar with FedEx, get familiar if you're going to get into shipping heavier stuff. I had these things, and it's like, man, should I just part these out? I got these for $2 a piece. And I ended up selling them for $73.50 for the set of these. And that's really a good price, because if you break these up, you'll be lucky to get $73.50 out of it. It's just, I just decided to do it that way. And I did go through and I packaged up the items inside it and stuff like that. So somebody got a nice lot of stuff. Old leather jacket, pretty cool looking. I ended up getting $73 shipped for this. It's just got a great look, great vibe, and it's just a jacket. Another Sony. Sold this for $73 shipped. You're going to see, I mean, when you're watching my channel, you're going to see I love the electronics. I love the vintage electronics. And you can pick them up so cheap around here. Like I said, I got these things. A lot of it had dust all over it because this guy had this stuff just stacked up and sitting there. And I took a chance. I got all of them at an awesome price. And it ended up being, I made really good money on this stuff. I think I've got under $70 in all of the stuff I got from this guy. And there were piles of it. So, yeah, really good deal here. Picked these up really cheap. I think they were $6, I believe. What I do on these snowboard boots, these actually go inside, but for the picture, I thought it would look a lot better if I had the inserts, because these are actually higher end inserts. I had them out of the boots. So they sold fairly quickly for $70.99. Always, Burton is a good brand out there. So, and just the actual inserts, you know, if you come across them, are worth some decent money. So it's just something to keep your eye out. And yes, I'm down here in Florida and I'm selling snow boot stuff. You know, we've said this before, as you know, people move down here and they have no need for the stuff anymore and they donate it. So that's why we're able to come across it, you know, fairly cheap. And you think about it, well, even though it's expensive, then why is the thrift store selling it cheap? Well, because the thrift store gets it and they're sitting there thinking, who in the world's going to want snow boots? So they price them cheap. So, you know, we're all over it. And that's why you see us finding a lot of wintry type stuff down here. You know, boots, Ugg boots, snow boots, stuff like that. So, and here's another. Teak is a really good brand as well. On this Teak, I got $70. And what this is, I know you see the 211, but what I did is I did a trial. I don't know if you guys remember. I did a trial of doubling all my prices and then like having a 60% off sale. I did that for a little bit. I didn't really see a difference. You know, some people were talking about doing that. But yeah, I ended up getting the same price I would have gotten if I didn't do it. So, but yeah, this is a $70 receiver. Like I said, I was into it very cheap. Got this in that lot from that guy. Okay, let me scroll down over here. Next item. These are really cool. These were $3, I believe, at the Salvation Army. I was inside, and we don't have a signal inside. And they were sitting on a shelf. And I'm like, what in the world are those? So I looked at it, and it said they were jump soles. So I went outside and I looked them up because I didn't know what they were. And I saw they were selling for decent money. So I called Kim and I said, hey, back there on the shelf in the back, right on the very bottom, they're black. They kind of look like caps for your shoes. Pick them up. She said, okay. So she came out with them. We ended up getting $69.98 for these. So yeah, they help you jump. I guess you practice with them, and I don't know. I just don't see how they can help you. But yeah, there's all kinds of exercises you do with them that I don't know. Maybe they're supposed to make your calves stronger, which causes you to jump higher. I don't know, but they sell, and that's all I care about. So, but yeah, I never would have thunk. You know, you learn something every day. And if I didn't take the time to look them up, you know, somebody else would have either gotten them or, you know, but I sure as heck wouldn't have gotten them. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, here's another great example of a vintage electronic. Kenwood. You know, not all Kenwoods are worth decent money. This isn't a high dollar one. But it was also in that big lot I got from that guy. I ended up getting $69.80 for this. You know, I printed out the manuals for it, so it was actually worth you know, my time. So okay, then we have this. Oh, my dog's barking. Hold on. I love the idea of being able to pause so I can take breaks. Here we got a pair of Salvatore Ferragamo shoes, which I fully credit Ronnie Hart for, you know, teaching me what I need to know about, you know, some shoes. And if I ever have a question, he's always there to answer for me. These were a good pickup for a few bucks, and I ended up selling these for $68.49. One thing I've learned on the higher end brands, the wingtip type and the tassel loafers actually still sell. I thought that like the tassel stuff was like old and nobody wants that anymore. It's all outdated, but they're actually they still bring decent money. So something to think about. If you're not sure when you're looking at shoes and they look quality, you know, take the time to look them up. Here's another little lot of the Care Bears. These are the smaller, the PVC ones that aren't posable. They're just the actual little hard looking pieces, and I ended up getting $45 shipped for these. I got these and the other ones in a Kim actually picked these up. I think she paid $7 for all of them, for these and those others that I sold, the bigger ones. But these are only like 2 inches tall, so I believe these went overseas as well. Just a really, Care Bears seem to still do really well. Don't know why, don't really care, but yeah, it's just something to think about. Now, if you find one or two of them on a shelf at 50 cents a piece, would it be worth picking up? Probably not. But if you can get some like in a lot like this, they just sell much better. You know, it'll really add to somebody's collection, you know, if they collect them. So this is really a cool thing. There wasn't much to be found on it, but I know Kensington is a really good brand when it comes to the trackballs and the equipment that they make. There's no software for this. There's no drivers for this. But people who want this know their way around a computer, and they can actually get the stuff they need to get for it. So this ended up selling for $66.25. And the guy who bought this sent me several messages saying, hey man, so many times the receiver doesn't pick up the trackball. And I told him, I says, you know something, you know, I'm more than happy to accept a return on this if, you know, if it doesn't work 100% to your liking. He's like, okay, he gets it, and he says this is the best thing ever. So super happy customer, and apparently he knows what to do with it, because there were no drivers, no discs, and you couldn't download them or anything. I couldn't find anything like that for it. So, but it was a good thing. Here's another one of those ski suits that, you know, I was talking about earlier. The 80s, they're just desirable, and these are actually the overall type underneath. I actually have this and a female's a matching one that was a small, and I debated putting them together, but I wasn't. I just like, what are the chances? You know, there's an extra large guy, a large tall, and then a small. It's like, I'm going to split these up. And as soon as I sold this, I had somebody ask a question on the small. Do you still have the extra large, because we want to match? It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't. Oh, because I probably could have gotten, because as a set, I would have been able to ask more for it. But I ended up getting $67.50 out of this. Uh-oh. Well, since it's already up. These are one... Okay. These are one of the things that I don't really advertise, you know, as a bolo or anything like that. But the Foxfire books are really good sellers. They, I just picked these up and just listed them, and they sold really quick. And what you're going to find with these books is they will sell really quick. They're the survival type things. You know, so many people say, you know, well, you can get this stuff online, you know, in PDF formats and stuff like that. But no, these go down in bunkers. Okay, it teaches people everything from you know, planting crops to farming to cleaning water to hunting to building traps, just all kinds of. It's like an ultimate survival guide. and it's actually a very credible set. The set was actually re-released in a newer set, and they're really always good to pick up. They're not as easy to find, so I don't know why I don't really talk about them, but anytime I find them, they really sell well. So I ended up taking $66 shipped for these. I paid 3 books came in this box, and 3 books came in this box, and they were $1.99 per box that I paid for them at the Mission. So, yeah, it's one of those things. I'm not a bookseller. I don't go scanning for books, but I know when I see something I'm familiar with, it's like bam. So, yeah, I haven't taken the time to do a whole lot of research on other books, but I've done okay with. I like the rarer stuff, the higher dollar stuff. I don't like to play with the $5 and $6 books. Picked this up. Oh, where did I get this? I cannot remember. But, oh, I got this for $10. Yeah, it was $10 in Destin at a Christian store. It was $20 and they had half off day. Put it at $10. And this thing is actually really large. And it's sold for, I got $66 for it. So, I was happy with it. It sold fairly quick. It's actually a remote control airplane. It doesn't have the remote with it, but it does have the relays and the servos and stuff like that inside it. So the guy was happy with it when he got it. I think there's a big misconception out there. You know, the old rotary dial telephones, they're really cool. The black ones are actually cheaper. The red ones used to, this is what I talked about at the beginning of the video. If you would have pulled up a video like from last year, you would see that the red phones were probably bringing quite a bit of money. So a lot of people's mentality is, oh, red phones bring a lot of money. No, they've come down over time. So it's one thing you need to consider when you're buying them. If you could pick them up for a couple bucks, as I did, it's always good to do that. So yeah, I wiped this one down a little bit and cleaned it up a little bit, and I ended up getting $66 for this shipped, and it was a great pickup. And I do not test these phones because I do not have a home phone set up here. I just sell them taking a chance. I don't say that it's tested and working. I just state that it's, you know, it is what it is. And I do take returns on them. So, but yeah, the old rotary phones can be good. If you can get a pink one or like a lime green or an aqua or oh, what's it called? The, like the green, the Indian stone, turquoise, then you're talking quite a bit more money. So, but yeah, the old rotary phones are really good. Another one of the items I got in that huge lot. This is a cassette deck. Very good, high quality, and the bands, the belts in this were fine. Everything sounds really good with it, and it worked like a champ. So I was really impressed when I tested this out, and I ended up getting $65 shipped for this. This is a rack mount receiver, or a tuner, I'm sorry, just a tuner. The MCS, Modular Component Systems. They're an okay brand. I actually use the MCS amplifier. That's what I keep here that I test all my receivers and stuff with. It's a good amplifier. Not super expensive, but it does what I need it to do, and that's what I test all my stuff with. And I actually had this one and the amp always just sitting there, used it to test like speakers or anything like that, but I decided, you know something? I get receivers all the time. So why keep this big, bulky, heavy thing around? So sold it pretty quick after I listed it. These are some of the most useless items that you'll ever find. It's a digital timer. It shuts your stereo off and stuff like that. But it was a nice add-on. You know, back in the day, you know, and Marantz is a very expensive, high-quality item. But if you had an awesome system, then you had a timer to go with it. You just did. And Marantz is always a great name. This is actually the third one of this particular model I've sold. So anytime I see these, I pick them up. And I got $63.25 for this. This thing, for a lot of people, is a boat anchor. It just is. But a lot of these vintage analyzers, it came on. I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to test it. It powers on just fine that I saw. I had no way to check it or anything, so I listed it for parts or not working. And I stated in there, it turns on, you know, the meter goes up, and, you know, and somebody's like, I'm all over it. And they pay, I got $63.10 for it. And it wasn't that heavy, so it was worth the pickup. I think I paid $3 for this at a yard sale. It was full of dust too, so I cleaned it up a little bit. And the old vintage analyzers, some people, you know, if you have those older cars, they will use stuff like this. Just sold this recently, and this sold for $61.99. It's another one of those things you put together. I don't know. Playset. Yeah, it's the brand is Playset, or no, the brand is, I can't remember, Playmobil or something like that. But I ended up putting it together, and a cannon was missing on it. So I dictated that, you know, all the parts may not be there because of that. But yeah, if it was new in the box, it would be up in the hundreds. So I ended up selling this for $61.99 shipped. Somebody will have fun with it. Vintage games, PC games. These were sealed, and what I found out is they actually went together. Had no idea. I got them, you know, got them together. I think I paid like $1 a piece for them. And they ended up, one is like the sequel to the other one. So listed them, and it ended up going, I think, to like Colombia or something like that. But I ended up getting $34 shipped for them. But yeah, I have no idea what they are, but they, through my research, showed they actually had some value. This is a Harry Potter board game, or trivia game, and it sold for a decent price. I got $38.99 for it. It was new. I don't really know anything about it, but I just knew that it sold for a decent price. So and it was like $2.99. And here's another. This is a mixer preamp, and it was in that lot of electronics I got from that guy, and I ended up getting $60 for this. You know, if you don't know what it is, you don't have to know what an item is to sell it. Okay, you don't have to know. You can power it up. If it powers up, then, you know, you can state that it powers up. And if you don't know how to test, then you can say that. Just be honest with your description, and you might as well accept, if you don't know or you're unsure, you might as well consider saying that you do accept returns, because if they get it and there is something wrong with it, why fight it? I mean, you know, you can sell it for parts or repair if you're not comfortable, but you still probably need to, if it's something, I don't know. That's just a subject that I'm learning. No matter what, if you list it for parts or repair and say I don't accept returns, that doesn't cover you, because if they have an issue with it, you're still going to get it returned. So my thinking is, you know, why fight it? Just, you know, to relieve the headache, I guess. I'm leaning towards doing it anyway. I know some people are going to say, well, you're going to hurt us as sellers if you do that. But, I mean, I don't know. To avoid the headache. Okay, and here's another same lot. Yeah, I made a ton of money off this lot. I ended up getting $60 shipped for this. I think you guys are seeing a good price range that I'll accept for like vintage, for used electronics, is about $40 to $50 is what I'll take, you know, plus whatever shipping is. And if you're getting it for really, really cheap, that's still a really good profit, and you're going to sell the item pretty quick. So for me to make, you know, that kind of profit, I'm okay with. So yeah. You know, I don't normally do a whole lot of clothes, but I've learned some things that look kind of crazy might bring some decent money. So when we saw this, we looked it up, and sure enough, ended up getting $60 shipped for this. Guy was really happy, and I don't know, it's just Johnny Blaze. I have no idea who that is, but in the Wu-Tang, but it brought money, so it was worth picking up. You know, that's where my research went, to see that it was worth money. And I didn't go into learning too much about who they were, what it meant, or anything like that. Except it was worth money, so that's why we got it. I got this also, I believe, in the trade for that little mini lathe looking thing. And I ended up getting $60 shipped for this. Let me scroll up. Yeah, I ended up getting $60 shipped for this. You know, when I got it, it didn't have the SD card. But I had another SD card lying around. And I had this power cable lying around, the data cable. So I added them in. I've got a ton of cables and stuff like that. So it's just a good idea. If you have them and it actually fits it, then use it. And you can make more money. Picked these up brand new. I can't remember what we paid for them. I think Kim got these. I can't remember. And it wasn't expensive at all. It was $12, I believe. Not totally sure, but we could have gotten more for them if we would have let them set, but we ended up taking $60 shipped for them. And it just goes to show, guys, it really depends on what you want to do with your business, you know, as far as, yeah, you could probably let these set and got $100 for them, but, you know, with us, because we sold them, like, very quick. I mean, it was really, really quick. And that's just the way we do it. And we made a really good, quick profit off of them. Got a couple of these for $3 at the Mission Thrift store. These are the actual braces that go on your legs. There were 2 of them that were brand new. Actually, I sold 2 of them, and one of them came back because it didn't fit him, but he had opened it up. And this particular one, I said it's used, but it was unused. It was returned because it didn't fit. So it was out of the plastic, and I put it back in the plastic and put the stuff back on it. But I didn't want to call it brand new because, you know, if it's been pulled out and put on, I just didn't want to take that chance with the, you know, being medical equipment and on somebody's leg, you know, stuff like that. So I ended up selling it again really quick, and I got $59.50 out of it, shipped. Okay. Awesome game. This reminds me of my childhood. Anytime you come across like the old board games from the 80s and the 90s, and they have the electrical things that go with them, like an electrical keypad, they are very desired. And it takes people back to their childhood, you know, like my generation. And when I saw that, when Kim actually picked this up, I was super excited. I pulled it out, played with it, and it just brought back a lot of memories. So this sold pretty quick. We got $57.50 out of it. And it's an old board game, guys. So you know, it's just, you got to pick and choose, you know, what you're buying, because some board games you can't get $5 out of. This is an old jewelry steam cleaner. Kind of an older version, I believe. And we ended up getting $56 out of it. It was new, but the box was pretty rough and stuff, so we, you know, said it was new without tags. You know, it was still in its plastic and everything else, and we pulled it out and showed everybody, you know, exactly what was in it. Yeah, I think it's really important not to oversell your stuff. Even though this is new, I didn't put, you know, brand new. I mean, these don't even come sealed, but it was just, it looked like it, you know, it's had a rough shelf life. Picked up some old vintage wooden shaft golf clubs. And this is a Bob Andrews golf club. And I ended up getting $55.49. I paid $2 a piece for these things. And I've got several more out in the garage. Just the old hickory shaft, the wood shaft golf clubs. And this was, I mean, you can tell it's got some corrosion to it and stuff like that, but it's a great collector's piece. It's a great wall hanger, and whoever got it, you know, doesn't have a problem paying that kind of money for it. So, this is really cool. I didn't really know that they had these. On Amazon, these things are selling for some really good money. This is the Rickenbacker Xbox 360 Rock Band guitar. There's not a whole lot of them out there, and they are very desirable. I ended up getting $55 shipped on this, and that was a very quick sale. Very quick. This is like a comic book, hardback book. They're pretty rare. If you look them up, the Richard Corbins, I mean, somebody's asking $150. I think somebody's asking $99. You know, I got $55 shipped out of this. As you see, it's got a little bit of a tear, you know, up there. And it just had a little bit of, you know, the dust cover, you know, had some issues and stuff. The book itself was in great condition. But this is just a desired book. I think it would sell in any condition. Maybe not for this much, but I mean, if it was without the dust cover, you could probably still get $30, $35 for it. So, yeah, it's just something to keep an eye out for. I was really surprised by this. This is just like a videotape head cleaner. And when I looked them up, I was just like, why are these things going for so much money? I don't understand it. Because you have the head cleaners and stuff like that, but I don't know. I ended up getting $54.99 shipped for this. I saw that, you know, the Geneva, they just sell for good money. Good old Thomas the Train stuff. We got this, like a big box of it for like $6, I think. All the old wooden track and stuff like that. And ended up selling this for $54.29 shipped. Now, the older track stuff, Thomas the Train, you know, Thomas the Train itself does well, as you guys know. But I don't know why. I don't know what the wood, maybe it's because it lasts. I'm not sure, but it's desired and it brings decent money. So, just keep an eye out. You know, would it be worth buying one or two pieces? Like, you know, like I said earlier, you know, if you find 1, 2, 3 pieces, you know, for $1 or something, it might not be worth it to do that. The only time it'd really be worth it is if you were able to get it in a lot like this. Because if you take $54 and divide it by how many pieces are there, 43, you know, you're talking $1 a piece. So, you know, consider that. Just because, you know, I'm sitting here saying the wooden Thomas the Train stuff sells, the track sells, you need to kind of use your thought process. You know, 1 or 2 pieces probably won't net you very much money. It wouldn't be worth selling with the shipping. I love this type of stuff. This is the old vintage Radioshack
Tandy computer. This is the stuff, you know, back in the day, it was like electronics. It was like space age stuff. It's computerized chess, and they're just really neat. They're not, some of them are worth some really good money, but they're not overall really super expensive. This was complete, even had extra pieces, and it had the instructions, the original box, and I ended up getting it for $33, and I only had a couple dollars in it. So just really cool old vintage stuff that brings some decent money. And here's another one of those gimme. I call it gimme. I don't know. It might be Jimmy. I don't know how it's pronounced. I've always called it the gimme. It's probably Jimmy. But this is the 3 Singing Frogs. And it is very rare. There's just none of them out there. And it had issues. Some of the plastic, what do they call it? Anyway, the real thin plastic, a lot of it was coming loose on top of their heads, on his back. It was separating. I don't know if you can see this picture down here, but it totally separated. But because it's a rare item and it's hard to come by, these collectors, they want this stuff, and I ended up getting $53 shipped for it. Had hardly nothing in it. But Kim picked up these Bearpaws, really nice boots. They were, we put them as used, but they are literally brand new. I mean, maybe somebody walked around with them in the store or something. But we did put them pre-owned, but in unused condition because they look so nice. And if you put something that's brand new, by God, if you look on the bottom and there's any type of sign that it's been walked in, then you're just asking for trouble. So we ended up getting $53 shipped for these, and I think she had $4 or $5 in them. Here's just a Wii system, just a standalone. I sold all the other stuff separately. We ended up getting $52.99 shipped for this, which is a good price. I mean, you can find these fairly cheap, a lot of times for $10. And, you know, plus we sold the controller for $19. So, you know, ultimately we got probably $75 for this. And the light bar sold, you know, so it was a good pickup. This is another part on that reel-to-reel. And I ended up getting $52.25 for this. Always a great, I mean, you can already see how much money I've made off this reel-to-reel just by the parts I showed you. And in my videos before, I've showed parts that, I mean, I've made a lot of money on just these units that I've had to part out because they just didn't run right. I think these were $7 or $8, I believe. They were used. They were in really good shape. The men's Harley-Davidson Boots. We ended up getting $51.25 for these. You know, we probably could have gotten some more money for them if we would have waited, you know, a while. But, you know something? It's like they take up space. They take up, and it's just, we really enjoy that quick, you know, list it, sell it, get more, list it, sell it, get more, list it, sell it. And it just really, really works for us. As you guys see, I mean, we sell stuff all across the board. If it makes us money, we'll sell it. And we're not beyond learning anything. Boots we're finding are very profitable for us. We're able to pick them up at a really good price down here where we're at, which I can't say that you can pick up these Harley boots. You know, okay, you hear me saying $51.25. I sold these. You know, for some of you guys, these exact boots might be $30 in your thrift store. So would you be able to sell these for $51 shipped? Probably not. So that's why I think it's really important when I'm saying I got $51.25 for these, okay, that was a huge profit for us. It doesn't really matter what I paid for something. What matters is what it's currently selling for. Okay, and knowing the way we do business, it probably sold for a little less than what the actual going rate is. So you can take that into consideration. But what's important is when you see this or you find this item, you're like, okay, these sell for $50 to $60 to $70. You know, where do I have to be when it comes to buying it for it to be a good buy for me to be able to buy it right? And that's what you need to make that decision on. Okay, what I'm showing you is what the current value is on this stuff and giving you ideas of items that you can look for that might, when you come across it and you see it, it might trigger something in your head that, hey, I saw that on Chad's video. So that's what this is about. The good old tape recorder, just a cassette recorder. I've got cases of these old tapes, and this is just another one of those things that I've got cases of these tapes, and what I'll do if I find a tape recorder, I'll add some tapes to it, some blank tapes, and I printed out the manual for it. And, you know, these things are selling $15, $20. Well, I ended up getting $32.37 shipped for it. And the reason is because I added the tapes and it has the manual. So, and it doesn't even have a power cord for it. And what that's done is that you know, I was able to get more money for it, and actually you're getting less because it doesn't even have a power cable for it, and most of the others did. So how could I make up for that? I hope that makes sense. That's my thinking and the way I do stuff. So, but yeah. Really cool motorcycle jacket. This sold for, we got this for $5 at a yard sale. We sold this for $50 shipped. And that went into a priority flat rate bubble. Here's some more of the, I just listed these and they sold like within 24 hours. I picked these up for $2.99. All of these were inside that case right there at Goodwill, sitting on top of a shelf, and I picked it up. It said $2.99, and I'm like, great deal. So I laid them out. I didn't research any of them. You know, there might be something good in there. I'm not sure. But I put, you know, $50 on it, and it sold pretty quick. And, you know, for turn $2.99 into $50, you know, you can't. Could there be more money in there? Sure. But the time I took to grab them, list them, and sell them, it was fine with me. Okay. You know, you might find these soda streams quite a bit in thrift stores. The reason I picked this one up is because it had the air canister, I mean the CO2 cartridges, the refillable ones, and the 2 bottles with them. I ended up getting $49 shipped for this. It probably wouldn't be worth, I think it was $6. It probably wouldn't be worth selling if it didn't have the 2 canisters. And actually, I believe those were full because whenever I stuck them on there and tried them, you know, the stuff came out. And it had the 2 original bottles with it. So they jumped on this pretty quick. This is for making like carbonated water or your own soda or something like that. I don't know. Here's some more women's Bearpaw Boots. Kim picked these up. Kim's my shoe person. She knows what to look for, especially women's shoes, the Uggs and the Bearpaws and the women's boots and stuff like that. And they've always done really well for us. We've always sold them pretty quick. We got $48.70 for these, and I mean they were cheap. They were under $5, I believe. So always a good pickup. The Bearpaw is a good brand. That's not to say that every single pair of Bearpaws are worth money. So please don't take that statement as you see a pair of Bearpaw, buy them. No, I'm just a tool. Just remember a Bearpaw. If you come across a pair, you know, check them out. There's a tag on the inside that will have a number that, you know, can guide you to Google of what model number it is. And then, or if it has like the, you know, I think if you look this one up, it would say it's the Demi short boot. So you can go to eBay and look up Demi Bearpaw. And then you can find your item and see what it's actively selling for. So, but they're actually the Bearpaw Red Demis are selling for $48.70 shipped. So, yeah, this we had no idea what it was when we bought it. I think it was either $2.50 or $3. Had no clue what it was. And then finally got some help. And it's a shaker, a cocktail shaker. And the new ones can be $180. So, but this is used. I actually used my shining stuff and I shined it up a little bit. And I ended up selling it for $48. It was the only used one out there. I didn't really know a lot about it, and I felt comfortable with taking the $48. I put 60 on it, and they offered me 48, and it was gone. But yeah, it's just something. I had no idea what it was, and it was stamped on the bottom, but it intrigued me, so that's why I got it, and then learned what it was later. This was a disappointment. I bought this. It's a, like, you put it together and it's gears and stuff like that. It's brand new sealed. I had this for a while and it just didn't sell for the price that it should have sold for, and I ended up just dropping the price, and I ended up getting $47.75 out of it. I think we had under $5 in it, but it was just, man, Amazon, they were selling for huge money at one time, and you know, it's just, it is what it is. I mean, it doesn't do any good to hang on to something because it should be getting this money. Well, it's only getting what somebody's willing to pay for it. You know, as much as people hate hearing that, or you could get so much more money for that. Well, if somebody pays that so much more for it. And this is where I found that they would pay. I mean, I was all over the board on it. I had to keep coming down, and I had this for several months. So for anybody to tell me, well, these are selling for this, it's like, then go sell it for that. Buy it off of me at my price and go sell it for that. I've had it for a long time. So, you know, it is what it is. Here's another camera. I got this off of OfferUp for $10. And pretty cool little camera. It's actually a higher end Sony Cybershot. It's a 12.1. And I ended up getting $47 out of it. It's a good quality camera. So it has a touch screen on it and stuff like that. So it was a good camera. I was into it really cheap, so I was able to make some money on it. Kim picked this up. I had no clue what it was. It's a beach bag, and she says, it's worth money. I'm like, okay. So, you know, did the research and stuff like that. And I ended up getting $47 shipped for it. It was only a couple dollars. And I don't know how she does it, but on some stuff like this, she can just tell quality. I don't think she was real familiar with the maker or anything, but I think she just knows good quality when she sees it. I think it's a woman thing. I don't know. Electronics, I can tell quality. But this stuff, no. This is Kim's grab. The old vintage rock tumblers, guys. These things, if you come across these at yard sales, they always do really, really well. I ended up getting $46.99. And I think it was $1 at a yard sale. So, and it was new. Never used. They just wanted to get rid of it, I guess. I don't know. But there's some older, the metal rock tumblers, the actual motor and stuff, it's all metal. Those bring some really, I've sold them into the hundreds before, and they're just always something to look at when you, and this is actually a newer one. It's just something to look at when you come across them. This is just a reel that was on that Pioneer that I parted out. Just one of the actual, you know, the reel. And I ended up getting $46 shipped for it. The metal ones sell much, much better than the plastic ones. The metal ones are what people want. Any of the higher end, any metal, reel to reel, you know, reel for a reel to reel should bring some decent money. So I don't want to go as far as saying any, but you know, do your check. And there will always be a model, as you see right here. That's the model, the PR85.
And then you always measure it. You got your 7-inch, you got your 10-inch, you got your 12-inch, or 12.5-inch, or 10.5-inch, 12-inch. But yeah, always, when you're researching it, don't just look up Pioneer metal reel, okay? Because you're going to get the larger ones, and make sure when you're doing your research, whether it's used, new, sealed, you need to be very, use specifics when you're searching, because you're going to get stuff all across the board. And I've realized that recently with a lot of new people asking questions, they're not being very diligent when it comes to their research. Do you no good to just look up a vintage Pioneer tape reel? It wouldn't do you any good, because there's several different ones with different models, and without putting the actual model number in, you're not going to know truly what your item's selling for. Kim picked this up at a garage sale for $3, a whole stack of the Ralph Lauren Polo Bears bed sheets and stuff, and we split them up, and she has made a killing on them. We ended up getting $45 shipped for this. This is just a flat sheet, a queen size flat sheet. So she did really well on that. There's a nice space maker. Actually, that worked. It's just the angle that I took my picture at that too doesn't look like it's all the way in, but it worked perfectly. Ended up getting $44.50, and I think this was under $5 when we got it. So it was a really good deal, and it had the parts, and I resealed the parts for it. So everything worked on it just great. Down where I'm at, we come across a lot of military clothing and stuff like that, and a lot of it's sealed, and we can get it really cheap, and it sells really good. I ended up getting $25.35 out of this, and we come across this stuff all the time. So, and they're just good. They just are. They're high quality, and a lot of people like to use them for hunting and stuff like that, or military people can get them cheaper on eBay than, buying them, at the PX. What would a sales update video be without a Nerf gun? We've always done really well with Nerf guns, but you have to pick and choose which Nerf guns you get. Like those Care Bears I was talking. To buy one of the little pistol guns, is it worth buying one or two of those and trying to sell them individually? No. Okay, what's worth buying is if you can pick up 20 of them for $20, okay? And then you can turn around and sell those 20 of them for $80. Big difference than trying to sell one or two of the little guns themselves. But when you get the larger guns like this, I ended up getting $44 shipped out of it. They'll sell fine on their own. And I think this was $4.99, I believe, at a thrift shop, and the drum was actually in it, so they didn't price that separate. These are kind of little hidden gems that people come across and they just walk right past them because they're just coffee mugs. These are the Longaberger Woven Tradition coffee mugs. They've always done well for us. We've sold Longaberger for years, ever since we started selling on eBay back in the 90s. Longaberger baskets, that's one of the first things that we've ever sold, and have always done really well with Longaberger. The baskets have really come down and stuff, but the actual pottery seems to maintain really well. We got $43.99 shipped out of these 4 mugs. So keep it on it. Kim found these. She's on top of this stuff, I don't even like to go in that section of the thrift store, but yeah, she got these. I think they were 49 cents a piece. So she was really excited when she found those. Got this. It's a Pigs in Space playset. They're action figures, and it had all this extra stuff. I think I paid up too much for this. I think I got this paid $11, I think, for this. Wasn't super impressed. I ended up getting $43.99. Yeah, it's a good profit and stuff, but I thought it would have gone for a lot more. I just went on my gut, and it wasn't as good as what I thought it was going to be. So, a little bit disappointed. You can't hit it hard every time, but it was still a really good profit. And they're pretty cool. I played with them a little bit. Got 4 of these. 4 of these things, the wireless collars, in this a Ziploc bag. And it was $4, I believe, for the whole bag full of them. And what it was it had the cardboard, it had the these and the instructions and the little tester thing. They were all inside the bags too. So what I did is I ordered a bunch of batteries. So I put these all together. I sealed them up, and I listed them as used. And because the lady that we bought them from at this animal shelter, she says they used them for 2 days. They marked on the collars everything, the name of the dogs on the collar, on the red band, and she says they thought it was inhumane. So after 2 days, they quit using them. So I repackaged them, put the batteries in them, worked, but I also put 2 brand new batteries in there also. The batteries were dirt cheap. I got those. And so I packaged them up, and I was selling these I got $43.75. I had 2 of them that actually like this, and then I had 2 other ones that didn't have this background. It was the exact same, but it had like the instructions type large booklet. So I didn't want to sell the other ones looking like this when it didn't look like this. So I sold the other 2 separately, but sold all 4 of them. And Kim found these, the Ugg slippers. Don't remember what she got them for. Trust me, we don't pay much for stuff like this. Probably $5 maybe less, very possibly. But we just don't pay that much for this stuff, and I don't even see where they're at on our. I'm sorry about this, guys. I don't see the Ugg slippers. Anyway, we'll say we took $40 shipped on them. Does that sound good? Oh, there they are. No, we took $36 shipped on them. So, but yeah, they're nice, just slippers. So, I don't know why they're so far down. I just picked this up at a thrift store. I think it was like $3 or $4. Don't know what it is. It works. I put batteries in it, and it did everything it was supposed to do according to the thing I looked online. And I ended up getting $35.19 out of it. So it's I think it's for telephone work. Here's a good example. These Doc Martens, really nice condition. I ended up selling these for $36 shipped. The reason why I did not get more money for these is many of you guys know Doc Martens, they're made in England. Well, a lot of them now are being made in China. So they're going to be lower priced. These were actually made in China. But they're still officially Doc Martens. They just are sourcing, having their stuff made, some of their models and stuff manufactured in China or in another place. I can't remember where it is. But yeah, they're still high quality because Doc Marten does have a high standard, but they just don't bring as much, from the China. So if you have them that are made in England, make sure you put that in the title because that does make a difference. So we got $36 shipped for these. And our last one of our 101 items sold on eBay. 101 items you can sell on eBay are these Columbia snow boots that Kim picked up at a thrift store. I believe were $4, and we ended up selling these for, drum roll please,
$34 shipped. Okay. So pretty much what happened was we had the prize and somebody goes, they offered us $34 and said free shipping. You know, Columbia has gone down quite a bit, but there are just some things that still would demand some decent money. These look nice. A girl would like to wear these. And Kim sees that, so it was a good deal for us to get them. And it did have a little bit of discoloration. Not sure exactly what it is, but around these edges, it had some discoloration. And we made sure we put in there. It has some discoloration on seams. And it is missing a Columbia tag on the back, you know, right on the back heel, which we showed it. You can't see it. But one of the little things that the Columbia is missing on it. But it's just a matter of being thorough with your description, and you'll still get a fair price if it's, you know, if the value is there on what you're selling. But guys, this is 101 items, so I hope you enjoyed it. You've told me in the past that you really like the 101 items, and just remember, it does when you're watching like a sales update video and people are actually showing you what things are selling for currently. I think it's really important to, when they say I paid $5 for this, I paid $10, I paid $20, it doesn't really matter what they paid for it. Okay, what matters is you see this item selling for $50 and you come across this item that you saw and you're like, can I be into this? You know, where can I be in at this and still be happy with my profit margin? That's what's really, really important, I think. You know, I think that's important, and don't necessarily pay attention to what somebody buys something for. What's important in this whole picture is what is it selling for. And I don't know why my little thing says my picture is hiding, because I hope it shows my video down here. It doesn't really matter, I guess, but ultimately, you know, we're about an hour and a half into this. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. If you made it through to the end of the video, you know, post a message down in the bottom saying you made it to the end. If you like what I talk about, feel free to give a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And if you have any questions whatsoever, let me know. Don't miss our shows on Friday night. It's the Reseller Pulse on this channel. And Pickers Church on Sunday afternoon on Ronnie Hart's channel, Hart's Pickers. So thank you, and I hope you learned something, and we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good one, guys.